Hello again everyone, Michelle here. So in my last video I showed you my Mugello watercolour palette and how I was going to be adapting it by using some blue tack and sticking in some half pans and some full pans just to expand what I can put in here. And what I have decided to put in here are my Shinhan watercolours. They're professional watercolours by Shinhan, and I believe they're made in Korea. So these are all of my colours that I have. So I've put them all together in one palette. I'm hoping that this will work out as a useful palette for me. So what I'm going to do is swatch those out for you now. I'm just going to move them to one side, and I will just show you that I am continuing to use the Painter's Watercolour Diary. So that's what I'm going to be swatching my Shinhan tubes into. And in case you haven't actually seen what they look like, this is an example of a Shinhan watercolour. And if you look on the back here, it does show you that there's a website, www.shinhanart.com. So I believe that they have colour charts on there, but I'm just going to go through the colours that I have, giving you the colour name, the colour number, and the pigments that are in there, so as you can have a little look at these Shinhan paints. Jane Blundell, who is an artist, has a fantastic website. Let me just see, Jane Blundell Art .blogspot.com. If you go to her website, I will put a link in the description of the video. Then she actually talks about these watercolours. Yes, they're based in Korea. They don't just do watercolours, they do oils and acrylics and other mediums. But she does actually say that the colours they paint out very brightly, they re-wet beautifully. Many of the colours are very vibrant. It's almost like painting with inks. There's not as much granulation as in this range as there are in some other ranges. So if you don't like granulation, you might like these. The only thing that she does say to beware of is that there are some of the reds basically that have got PR83, which is pigment red 83, and it's quite fugitive, so you might just want to avoid those. I don't think I've got any PR83 myself. The only colour that I do have that is possibly you know, not particularly light, fast, etc., is the Opera. But that's the same in many brands. The Opera Pink is it's just a brilliant fluorescent colour. So anyways, let's get going and let's start swatching these out. So to start with, I have got Jaune Brilliant, which is number 557, and Jaune Brilliant has got 3 pigments in. It's got PO20, it's got PY74, and it's also got PW6. Now, a lot of these are made from several pigments. So unlike the core paints that I did the other day, where most are single, these are really what you would call convenience colours. They're made with several pigments. Number 542 is Cadmium Yellow Pale. That is a single pigment, PY35. I'll just water that down a little bit more. There we go. Then we have leaf green, which is number 564 in their range, and that has got 3 pigments in. So we have got PY74, PG7 and PW6, and this one actually is rather a gorgeous colour. It's one of my favourites in this range. You can see the yellow glow coming through. I don't know what PY74 is. I must start learning some of these. Then we've got green pale, as it's called, which is number 586, and it has PG7 and PW6. So there we have green pale. We've got a terre vert, or green earth. It's the yellow shade. It's number 561, and the pigment is PB17. So let's see what this terre vert is like. Oh, that's rather pretty. That's a nice terre vert. Okay, next, olive green. Olive green is number 562. It has got 3 pigments in it. It's got PY74, it's got PG7 and PW6. There's a really nice olive green. Viridian hue comes next, and it's number 582 with the pigment being PG7. I'm having to do this at a funny angle, but never mind. Perhaps I should move that a little bit more, then I won't keep putting my elbow nearly in it. Okay, shadow green, number 593. Let's see what shadow green is like. It's pigment PBK31. So it's got black pigment. Oh, it's almost like a perylene green. That is a rather lovely green colour. I like that one. I love this leaf green for its impact. The terre vert is gorgeous. The olive green and the shadow green. Viridian more as a mixing colour probably. I'm not sure I really like the green pale at the moment. Let's move on to shell pink, which is number 521. And the pigments are PW6, that's very opaque, and PR9. So brilliant pink comes next. Brilliant pink is number 519, and the pigments are PW6, PR209. PW6 is used quite a lot, this white pigment. Let's see what vermilion's like. Well, it's a vermilion hue actually. It's number 528 and the pigment is PO16. That's lovely. I'm quite fond of a vermilion. Permanent Rose, number 506, and the pigment is PV19. There we go. So this is Opera coming next. which is number 518, and it's just a brilliant or a fluorescent. It is still pretty. I think because most of the time, although we want our colours to be light fast, when you think about most paintings, watercolour paintings anyway, are usually behind glass. So I'm not always sure that it's too much of a problem. This is Lilac 649, number 649. And the pigments are PR122, PV23 and PW6. That is really opaque. What have we got next? Cobalt blue. Okay, cobalt blue. And I have to say I'm one of those people that prefers cobalt blue to ultramarine. This is number 618 and the pigment is PB28. Oh, that's a lovely cobalt. Right, royal blue next. Royal blue is number 626. Its pigment is, what have we got? PB15:3 and PB66. We've got Prussian blue. Prussian blue is number 625. And the pigment is PB27. Followed by turquoise blue. Turquoise blue is 598. And we've got 3 pigments here. So we have got PG7, PB28, which is our cobalt blue, and PW6 white. Oh, that's quite a pretty turquoise. I quite like. I'm fond of turquoise. Next we've got blue grey. It doesn't look very grey. It's number 614, and it's got PB15:3 and PW6. It's a gorgeous colour, but it's not what I would call grey. But anyway, we have got permanent violet. Oh, that's looking good. Oh yes, that's a lovely violet. That is number 643 and its pigment is PV3. Now we've got another one of these, what are they calling, greys? So purple grey. Yet again, it doesn't look like a grey to me. Number 650. And the pigment is PR122 PW6. Yes, I'm not sure why that's called blue grey and that's called purple grey. Anyway, they are pretty colours. What have we got next? Burnt sienna. Can't go without a burnt sienna. So that's number 665. And it's PR101. Then we've got Davies grey, which to me is always green looking. It's got a real green tinge to it, even the Daniel Smith one does. But there we have Davies grey, which is number 690. And the pigments are PBK31, PG17, PW6. And our final one is the ever useful neutral tint, which is number 687, and it's PBK 11 and PB 66. So there we have it. There we have all of my colours. I had already made my little, what would you call it? I suppose sample of where everything is. My little swatches says I know what I've placed where in my palette, so I'd already done that beforehand. So that's my palette. Let's bring these up a little bit closer for everybody to see the colours. So there we go. Oh, that vermilion sings, doesn't it? Wow. And I do like that shadow green. It does look very much like a pearly. There's our cobalt. Various blues. And then at the end here, neutral tint. It's a nice burnt sienna actually. I like that. So, those are my Shinhan professional watercolour tubes. There are, oh gosh, lots of colours to choose from. These are just the ones that I have. I hope you enjoy seeing some of those colours and how I've used my latest palette. Thank you very much, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.